Pile 1, Pile 2, and I would call this Pile 3, but it's probably like 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, hello everyone. I'm glad you're checking out this video. And I'm here in my really messy shop. I'm in the middle of reorganizing things. Doing this in my shop because it's kind of late. It's Wednesday night. I'm posting the video tomorrow morning. So I had to just improvise instead of doing it at the boat. I'm doing it here. Most of the stuff in these piles is all boat related stuff. I actually have more stuff in another room that I pulled out of this little closet, which I'll show you now. Alright, so this is the little room I have for storage back here. Now I couldn't even walk in here basically. It was so full. My circuit panel's back there. Couldn't even get to it. There was all kinds of weird bins and things stacked up here that were all falling over, with all kinds of other stuff stacked on top all the way up to the ceiling basically. Still my paint, some paint here I have to deal with and recycle, go through. So it's not done yet, but at least I can walk in here now and it's somewhat functional. Cougar car parts here, all waiting their turn. As soon as the boat is in the water, I'll jump back on that thing. And then this is where I did a lot of work with shelving. Put all these shelves in. These are actually old bifold doors I took off the kitchen when I moved into this house 20 years ago. They've been sitting down here. They made great shelves. But this is the part that really makes me happy, especially as it relates to this channel. All of my boat supplies are on shelves. I can't believe I didn't do this years and years ago, because I've had all this stuff in bins and I never knew what I had. I was overbuying or underbuying. But now I got all my paint on the top and varnishes. I've got all my brushes and different more paints here, brushes. I got my fillers and all my epoxies. So I know exactly how many cans I have and what I would need. Got my fiberglass over here. And I even uncovered the windows, side windows and the windshields and stuff for the boat. And hopefully that stuff gets put in next year. No promises, but that is what I'm hoping. So anyways, it's been great to get this room organized, or at least started. I still have a lot to do. I'll hide the mess over there. But yeah, I'm totally off topic here. Alright, enough of that nonsense. Now on to the subject of this actual video. The video's not going to show me doing any work. I do go over to the boat and show you some things at the boat, but no work actually gets done. It's more about me making a decision on how I was going to deal with the stringers in the cockpit and the engine area. I had a game plan set. I had spent a lot of springtime in 2022 sanding these stringers very carefully with the intent of just patching them and fiberglassing them. But when it came time to actually go do it, this is what happened. Alright everyone, well, it's the beginning of July. I've taken this first week of July off for vacation, to do vacation things and to do some boat work as well. Now I came over here on Sunday and my whole intention was to patch up areas on the stringers in the cockpit where I had found that the fiberglass wasn't very good, and I trimmed it off and I was exposing the bare plywood in the stringers. And I was just going to patch those areas up and move on and fiberglass over the whole thing and do my engine beds and all that. But before I came over here in the morning, I decided to watch a few videos on stringers, boat stringers, and people repairing them with a morning coffee at my house. And I came across one video in particular where the guy was a surveyor and he was surveying probably a 45-foot boat. And he was like banging on all the stringers and showing you, so you can hear what the sound was of a good stringer and a bad stringer and all this stuff. And he was finding a lot of bad stringers, but not everything on the boat. But anyways, I figured, you know, I looked at the stringers back here pretty quickly and they looked fine, but I didn't go through and bang on every inch of these stringers to see how they really were and to even know what the sound was like, if it was bad or delaminated or the plywood was bad. So I figured I'd come over here before I started patching things and actually do that. And I wasn't liking what I was hearing. And probably 3/4 of the stringers, or stringer area, I'd say didn't sound great. So I decided to cut into a few of the stringers in a few spots, and I'll show you what I found. This piece here, it's not a stringer, it goes in between the stringers, but I know this piece is in good shape because I can see the plywood over here, and I know it's not delaminated from the plywood. And so this is what kind of a good sounding one should be. Pretty solid, no thudding, just a nice crisp noise. But then there's other areas, like this area here. I actually put an X on it, and this is delaminated, and I can actually feel the hammer bounce off of it. So that's delaminated. I can see it's bubbled up there. That's a simple one. I was just going to cut that out and fix that spot. But then this area over here, where this dark stuff was, I was a little worried about that. So that's the first area I checked. And it has more of a thud to it compared to that, you know. So that's why I wanted to check that area first. So as you can hear, that didn't sound that great. And I couldn't tell if that was actually the fiberglass delaminated from the plywood, or the plywood just delaminating itself or rotting away. But as you can see, this is the piece I cut out of there, and the plywood is actually stuck to it. So I don't think the plywood is totally delaminated from, I mean, the fiberglass is not delaminated from the plywood, but the plywood itself was pretty bad in that hole. You can see it's all chunked out. I did that with just a screwdriver, with no hammer, no nothing, just screwdriver. And here's the pieces all scattered about down here. I kind of just left them here for 2 days because I was not happy. So that was what I was hearing in a lot of places, and that is not good. So then I decided to check the next one, the one next to it, which actually looks good. It's not dark or anything, and same thud. Here's an area where it's definitely delaminated. I could just tell that the hammer just bounces right off that thing. And here again, same issue, and the plywood is actually still stuck to the fiberglass. So, I mean, it didn't delaminate, but the plywood is toast. It's toast in there. So that's not good. Now, I wasn't hearing this everywhere, so I'm not going to cut in everywhere. But then I tried this one over here, and this one is a little bit different situation because this area here was not good fiberglass, so I actually cut the fiberglass right here, trimmed it, on the factory stuff. And I could see that this is, you can see it moving. If I push on it, that's just delaminated, totally delaminated. And the plywood is not that bad, actually. It doesn't look great, but it's not too bad. It's a little bit delaminated here because of this opening, I think. But so I decided to cut another hole over here. And this plywood is not that bad. It's pretty good. But it's delaminated. That's all delaminated. And when I pulled the plywood off over here, you can see that the plywood didn't come with the fiberglass. It just was delaminated off of it. So, and I know that's like that because at first I cut a little piece up here, and then once I cut that out, then I cut this little one off the bottom. So this didn't have any fiberglass attached to it, and they look the same. So there's an example of just delamination, and the plywood is actually fine. And the other side, it's not delaminated on the other side. Very crisp sound. So it's just delaminated here. So this one isn't too bad, but I don't want any delaminated fiberglass from the plywood. It's just, it just kills the strength of it, right? So I'm not going to mess around anymore with this stuff. I mean, there's good areas. This area is actually not bad. Like these small ones aren't bad, but the bigger ones here, there's issues with them. And they're not bad everywhere, but you know, to patch these things here and there where it sounds bad and cut out chunks of fiberglass and all that, that to me is going to be kind of half-assed in the end, and I'm not going to ever know if it's ever done right or if it's actually delaminated, but it just sounds good. So I've decided, after a lot of debate in my mind, and you can imagine, to replace all these stringers back here. Now, I'm not even going to check anything forward to that bulkhead. It's all done and everything's, you know, I'm not just going to go there. This area to me is important because the engines are back here. There's a lot of weight on these things, and yeah, I think they really need to be in good shape. Someday in the future, maybe I'll do something up there, but that would be very difficult to replace those at this point, and it's not impossible to do it. Really, it would be impossible. I'm not going there. But this is open, and I can do back here. I have the ability to make the decision right now, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel a lot better about all of this if I replace these. One of the other things that you'll notice is that the stringers do not touch the hull. I thought this was kind of rotted away when I first cut that out, and I said, wow, it's rotted away, but I didn't feel that it rotted away. So this kind of just proved that it wasn't rotted away. They just left them off the hull. And when I was doing my little stringer YouTube watching, somebody said that they do that because they don't want the wood touching the hull because it'll cause a hard spot and could crack the hull. So I'm going to leave a gap there, and it's good to know how big the gap was from the factory. And I can duplicate that, or I could probably tighten that up a little bit. It's like over a ½ inch there. But anyways, that was interesting to find out, and I have to figure out how to put these boards in without having them touch the hull. But anyways, you'll see all that happening because I'll probably film it, or I will film it for you guys. As I look at it, I'm not thinking it's that bad compared to some of the other things I've done on this boat. The other thing was I'm going to be fiberglassing over all these stringers anyways, and I was going to put enough fiberglass so that the core wouldn't really be a huge factor, even if it totally rotted away. I've seen people do that, other people, and that would have worked, but it would have added a lot of weight. I mean, I bought a roll of fiberglass just as a starter roll, and it's heavy. So we're talking a lot of extra weight here. So that's going to be a benefit to doing this as well. So there are some benefits to doing it. I can get them the way I want them and know that everything's going to be good in there without any worries, at least back here in the cockpit. And so that kind of helped me justify doing this. So anyways, obviously all of this set me back pretty much in the summer, changed my whole game plan. I had to rethink everything, start buying plywood and all this stuff. So needless to say, I didn't get everything done this summer on those stringers, but I did get the 2 outer ones actually in, which I'll show in my videos coming up pretty soon. So anyways, all's good in the end, and I'm happy I made the decision, and it's really good. So next video we'll return to actually showing some work. I'll actually start on some of this work, and yeah, it's all good. So until then, everyone take care, and we'll see you soon.